mostly handled by the Stars. Overtime in that one. Their first victory past 60 minutes. We'll see how this one goes here today.
Benn, Hintz, Heiskanen, the trio for Dallas. Larkin with Raymond and Seider for Detroit. Two captains on top of the Stars logo at center to begin 3-on-3 overtime. Each team has locked up a point. They go head to shoulder,
Larkin
head to
has
head.
leaned so far into it. They're head to head.
They still are and eventually have to drop it. The two captains with history separate, and possession initially goes to Detroit.
Jamie didn't like that. He was allowed to crowd and hog the center dot too much.
So Mo Seider hangs on. He's got an assist in the game. Taking his time as the rain of boos comes from the crowd, and then a pass for Larkin. He's broken up. Larkin got it back, then he's knocked down. It's a wall battle, which you don't see much of in 3-on-3 overtime, just inside the Detroit zone. Raymond takes a shove from Benn, then a second one, banks it up top for Seider. He's got Larkin, who has a goal in the game. The pass was intended for Raymond, and Seider cut it off, walks out to center, and Detroit will reset.
Looked over his shoulder and saw it's Miro Heiskanen back there. It's like, maybe I won't try him one-on-one.
Lucas Raymond to Larkin. Now they'll kick it into drive. Pavelski hops on in place of Hintz as the wings cross the blue line. Seider off, Hronek on. A pass back to him between the blue lines. Perron, career game 1,000. He scored in it. It's the most recent goal in the game, came late in the second. Now Larkin, shot. That one wide of the cage. Perron will get it right back to Larkin. Fed it for Hronek. Out to neutral ice, Perron. Benn applies a little bit of pressure.
Yes.
Benn and Heiskanen are still out there. They have been for the entirety of overtime, 1:40 and counting. Perron behind the net. Worked on by Pavelski. Huh? Yeah, two of them. Pavelski lost the glove, gets one back. Perron with possession.
It's 1,000 game strong there.
Sherratt, fresh from the bench, takes the handoff. Now a 2-minute shift for Benn here in 3-on-3. Staying with Sherratt. Rasmussen. No shooting lane for him, so he'll keep it on his stick. Rasmussen right side, put it in the feet of Sherratt. Now Kubalik almost ran into his own guy. Spinning and then spins his way out to center, and here come more Boo-Birds.
Stars are going to get the puck once in overtime and win it. That's how this feels. They haven't had it yet.
Kopp will come back out to center.
They're going to have to do something about all the temporizing that teams do in overtime.
Here's Kubalik looking for a lane. A shot blocked up and out of play. Heiskanen and Benn can finally get to the bench over halfway through overtime.
Some frustration from Kubalik, who not a wide shot decision that time. And Heiskanen, who's so good with his stick. And you had him at the end of his stick, though, and he follows through, and it's knifed up and out of play. See if the Stars can win a draw and go to work here.
Sagan, Robertson, Lindell, and Dallas does win the faceoff. So possession to the Stars. Robertson turns away from Zarnik and sets up behind his net. Tyler Sagan out there, the hero from a couple nights ago. One behind Jamie Benn for the franchise record in overtime goals. Robertson to Lindell, and now back for Sagan. Drop off Robertson. He hit the bar with a half-minute to go in regulation. Robertson, pass for Lindell, and if he touches, he does. It's offside. It is.
Well, this would be fairly tough ice right now. The ice conditions, I think, have been rather good here today, considering the floor for the Mavericks game last night was pulled up about 1 in the morning. I mean, you're talking about 12-hour turnover, and these two teams have raced up and down the ice throughout the afternoon. But here in overtime, they don't get things cleaned up, and we're deep into it here now. And really, not much has gone on in this overtime. They've just delayed and delayed and delayed.
Feels like an extension of sequences of the third, but then, as you mentioned, if it opens up once, that's all it can take, and certainly the case at 3-on-3. Here's Heiskanen, in and out of the offensive zone. He, Johnston, and Hintz out there in the reverse retros. Johnston enters down the right side. Roope Hintz couldn't poke it past Hronek. The Red Wings will steal. Back they come. Raymond down the left wing. Almost lost it. Now it's Larkin. Behind the cage. Flip pass and got away from Hronek. Grab it all the way back defensive slot. Stretch pass for Larkin. Measured by Nils Lundqvist. Gets knocked down. Puck back. A foot race. It's Johnston and Larkin. Johnston making up ground and Larkin supermanning. Just played it to a defensive corner. The Stars were on it there. Johnston's pass though couldn't get to Lundqvist. Final 40 seconds of overtime.
Larkin's been out here for a long time. Normally he would have gone there. He could barely get back. He can't get off now.
Star steal. It's Marchment with Lundqvist. Marchment to Lundqvist. Scores! Back-to-back overtime wins at home. Lundqvist the hero.
Well, there you have it. Their first shot in overtime ends it. Larkin makes a curious decision in neutral ice to try to hang on. It's a miscommunication by the wings at center. Turns into a patient play by Mason Marchment, who made two marvelous plays to set up goal scorers today. Waits and then feeds across. The goaltender, Husso, allows this to go across the goal front. Gets across, but opens up too much. And Lundqvist, who scored the tying goal the other night, gets the winner here today. And the Stars beat the Red Wings on home ice